Hello and welcome to all the HFDL fans and just Smite game enjoyers in general. We are bringing you a Challenger Cup game. This is going to be 100-0 against the Secret Seekers. I am your host, Nathan DePaulo. Joining me shortly is going to be the illustrious and elusive Nova. She will be joining me as soon as her stream ends, and she is bringing her followers over to this game. So we are starting off with a bang. I can't wait. But mostly, I can't wait for this game to get started. These two teams are very interesting teams. We've got a lot of good players with a lot of high drama going on as well, just because of the personalities involved. And so I'm really eager to see who wins it out on the battlefield. We're going to go ahead and get started with picks and bans just right away. So here we go. On the order side is the Secret Seekers. Captain Chiron Arkin going to be doing the picks and bans on this. We've got a pretty interesting team here. I think a lot of good players. Post Drama, ZRG Anime, GABA, and Cactus Arms. On the other side, 100-0. That's Assassin Mario's team. You wouldn't know it because Big Fatty Doink, that is Soft Oath in the chat if you are a fan. He's going to be doing picks and bans from that side. And right off the top, we got Bakasura banned. I think that's a good choice. I made the mistake of not banning Bakasura once, and let me tell you, I felt it. And so joining us is Nova. Nova, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I am here. Hello.
Well, it is a pleasure to have you join us. And let me tell you, I'm excited to cast with you because I don't think we've had this opportunity before. And let me tell you, longtime listener, first time caller, big fan.
Well, hi. You know, unfortunately, with the lead production role, I kind of, Seal unfortunately kind of bullied me, but that's
Hmm
okay.
hmm
I'm here. I'm
He's he's
right.
been known to do that. Let me tell you, I've been on the receiving end as well. But I'm glad you're here. And just as a shout out, as these picks and bans are getting started, I'm glad you guys are running production. Let me tell you, I've seen a lot of changes. I've noticed production values going up, and a lot of the things that are happening, I think, are really important. A lot of organization. I think that's going to be great for the game players and the game viewers. So if you got love for Nova, put it in the chat. Let people know in the HFDL chat, in the stream, the Twitch chat. Shout outs to Nova for doing a great job and Seal for existing.
Oh, so sweet. Thank
You're
you.
very welcome. So back to these picks and bans. We got Bakasura and Kali, a couple of hot junglers, followed by Mercury. So you know what they're looking out for. On the other side, King Arthur, Jingwei. Jingwei, really popular in the bans right now. Do you think Worth? I mean, I know she's one of the top ADCs, but like, how much difference from one ADC to another?
ADCs, unfortunately, in my beginning days, I did main the ADC role and it was a lot of fun. But unfortunately, as metas shift and, as, different builds, they really get you. Gibalanque, for example, is such a good pick right now. He's very strong, and especially if you play him right, it can be pretty disgusting.
I
For
super
sure.
agree. And he's one of those global pressure gods without having to actually like leave the couch. He gets to push a button and then just disrupt everyone's team fight. And if a kill happens, he gets an assist for it, and that's a super great mechanic for X Ball. When he builds those stacks, he gets lots of damage. I really like him. Going into the Rama, one of the few gods that can maybe outclear him early. So I think that's a reasonable counter pick.
You know it is. Fun fact for those of you who don't know, I got my first ever penta with a Rom. That god feels good, and especially with the right items, that clear can be pretty insane. Um,
Mhm.
and it's you can definitely counter that with the Gibalanque, especially with that alt. Kind of get away from it real quick. And again, it just circles back to if you got that build, you can definitely shred pretty quickly with that.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Rom as well, and I think that he is strong in the meta right now. I think that the builds favor him, or at least suit him well. It looks like we did get the Baron Samdi. They hovered it, changed their mind, and went back to it. Maybe he had to rent the god, like maybe he doesn't own him. I don't know.
Possibly.
But what do you think? Baron Samdi solo? Baron Samdi support? We've seen some
You
crazy
know,
stuff.
as crazy as it is, unfortunately, I don't agree with it. That Baron support can be pretty nasty. I've had to encounter it a couple times. But you know, it's looking like a Baron support. I would
Hmm.
think. I don't often see Baron in mid anymore. So I
Yeah,
would put my money on that support role.
I agree. Speaking of mids, it looks like they've locked in the Persephone, and I think that they are going to regret not banning that. As far as mid laners go, that's one of my top bans. She does a lot of damage, and then that long ball ult, it's mean.
If you can catch somebody backing and you snipe them with that Persephone ult, it's donezo.
Yeah.
I will say, you know, there's a lot of different opinions on the Persephone rework. You know, I think she's a great god. I think she's got a great kit, especially if you get it down. Um, she's a strong one, that's for sure.
I miss old Persephone. I diamonded her on the old kit, and when the new kit came out, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so
You
I
know,
just,
honestly, it was hard. It was hard to get used to the new kit. I like both. You know, most people prefer the old Persephone though.
mhm. It had a lot to go to it. So Wheelix versus Susano is interesting to pick Wheelix into not so many jumps, but I guess you could get that off the Persephone. Susano though, a lot of buttons. He spins around and yaws a lot. I don't know what Susano does, but he does damage.
He does. In any experience I've ever had, Susano's kind of that, you know, mid to later game god. Uh, but you know, I have encountered those Susano mains who they slap pretty hard pretty early. So it's all gonna depend on how they play that god going into
Hmm.
it.
Totally agree. Rounding out the team, we got Kepri and Hercules as the front line. Pretty good Hercules because we got a good, I'm sorry, pretty good front line because we got a good initiator in Hercules. And then we've got a good like backline peeler slash save you from diving in. So Susano that goes in gets a Kepri ult. That's going to be nice. That's going to feel good. Um, yeah, I think that we've got a decent team coming out of the Secret Seekers. What do you think? Synergy planned?
You know, I'm liking the composition. It kind of works out for a lot of them, especially you know that Kefri could definitely make a huge difference. Um, and you know, planning for and if you play it right, that Herc can you know hit that knockup right into Persephone, right into Gibelante. I think that's a pretty solid team comp right there.
It is, and that's a lot of CC between
Yes.
the Kepri, the Hercules, and the Persephone. So now we got Sobek. Speaking of CC, so that's gosh, Baron solo, I guess. Sobek support. AMC, I'm just gonna say mid and Rama carry. That kind of makes sense to me. Looking at how it's playing out. I
Quite
actually don't
possible.
know between the two if Pest is mid lane and Zexy carry or vice versa, but think think I got it right. Which shout outs to my boy Zexagon, another great caster. Love
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 him.
seeing the casters in the games. Um, we've got the teams laid out, and so while we get them in the order and let the timer tick down to start, setting aside the players, I always like to ask, who do you think won picks and bans?
Picks and bans. So you know, with the picks and bans, I'm favoring you know, the homie Chiron. I'm loving his team composition, but I think the Sobek into that Awilix play is going to be pretty nutty. That's definitely,
Hmm.
I think, you know, in game stance, you know, that's just going to work out a little bit better for them, and especially Rom hits really hard, so it's gonna. I'd like to favor, you know, the Seekers, but I think I'm gonna have to go the other way on that one.
All right. Well, I really do agree with you. I like that Persephone mid, and I think that that's big and strong. But right now, AMC is a terror. And, when it comes down to it, they've got a good combo team on 0 to 100. 0 to 100 or 100 to 0? Did I get it backwards initially? I was thinking,
Oh,
did we get that
it's 0 to
straight?
100.
Is it
0 to
0 to
100.
100? All right, I'm gonna call them the hundreds because I feel like
Perfect.
they need a nickname. They need a shortened versions. We're not saying the whole thing every time. It's gonna be the Seekers and the hundreds, and I feel like
Perfect.
that tracks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, this Persephone knows what she's doing because she's putting
I was just
the
about to say that
plants
that's
out.
the trick. You plant those flowers, you get them down in mid, and then you quickly rotate to your jungler, and you just get that normal rotation going. And then that way, when you do get to lane, you can shoot off those flowers, and you still have your ability.
I usually manage to do that. Oh, that had to be. Well, no, maybe she's setting up one here. So this is a variation on the strat that I was familiar with, putting one on the speed buff and in middle lane. Usually I stack as many as I can in middle lane and then just use the
Yep.
ability on speed buff. But there's some cooldown techniques going on here, clearly. So we're gonna learn something today.
Yep.
So as far as
What do you
lane,
think of the rotations from, you know, either red to speed or speed to red? Do you find that there's a difference on that?
So I do, and I find that if you start red, go to speed, and then do that back camp, if the other team doesn't do that, then they immediately get lane pressure. So I think that my decision, and this is still kind of like being weighed out, but my decision is if you know they're going to get lane pressure and you don't want to fight them, do red to speed. And if you want that fight, if you want to take that level 1 fight and to get lane pressure, go speed to red. And so you've heard it from here. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm saying it with authority. And as you can see, Awilix is going into the jungle. That's enemy jungle right there. So they must have had a little early pressure and then just taken that camp as a reward.
I will say I have seen, you know, it's very different, you know, as the meta shift. You know, you get your jungler who's either going to stay in that lane and kind of mooch off a couple waves, or your jungler is gonna go right off into the jungle, and you've got to decide whether or not you're gonna play safe or not, because you don't know where their jungler is. If they
Ooh,
kind of
good pluck from the Khepri. This may turn into a kill. X-Ball was landing basics, but he missed the last couple, so that Sobek gets to walk out. But a missed pluck into a good grab from the Khepri. That's you can't be missing those Sobek plucks, because that's a commit. You've made a decision to go in.
Yeah,
but I agree with you totally.
Plucks are nasty.
I agree with you totally on the meta shifts and how that can play out. And you know, for what it's worth, there's a new patch coming out tomorrow that could have a big effect on how the mid jungle start plays out. Tiny little variations, you end up looking for what's best, and then that evolves.
Oh, we got a Susano.
Sobek in big trouble this time.
Nice.
Susano picks up the kill. ZRG and Neme putting the Secret Seekers on the board.
Before 3 minutes, that's a clean gank right there.
There really is, and you don't always see that. In fact, in my games, I rarely see jungle over, ever, in the duo lane. But you know, these competitive matches can get pretty crazy, where the junglers are just getting around. Speaking of which, Awilix coming in for the Hercules. That is bold. Hercules, a tanky boy.
For sure, and stealing that blue buff just to take that away. And giving that poke to Baron, for sure.
Yeah, it seems that the Awilix was happy enough to just get some poke, and then Hercules shows up disappointed, sad trombone noises. Womp womp. But yeah, they decided to just harass him a little bit, help with the wave clear, and get on moving. That's good play, in my opinion, by Oath. Big Fatty Doink is soft Oath in Discord chat. I am going to call him Oath, so if anyone is curious, I'm talking about the Big Fatty Doink. It's a big name. It's a mouthful, yes. And I don't. What's funny? And I don't want to have to say that every time. So anyway, yeah, Oath, I think, having good discretion, realizing he was wasting time if he was going to go after the Herc nonstop, just went on to farming, trying to get a lead out there, and ticks over to 5 just a second before the Susano. Oh no, maybe more than a second before the Susano. So it's working out for Oath right now. Khepri giving a little dance for the viewers, letting everyone know.
The Khepri dance.
Yes. It looks like he is just hanging out.
Just giving us a show. I gotta love it.
Giving us a show, waiting for his X-Ball to come back. I don't know if he got poked out or what, but maybe he just decided it was power spike time.
I will say, you know, for the longest time, I wouldn't touch the support role, but, you know, I didn't know for the longest time that, you know, you should hold that wave for your ADC or your mid laner, dependent on if you had rotated or not. And that makes such a world of a difference for not only the ADC or mid laner, but that support as well.
Yeah, shout out to those support mains. Meanwhile, Susano
Got a lot
going
going
in,
on.
getting beat up. Oh, the AMC ult was good, and then Oath picks up the kill. Oh,
Too
Wheelock's
long
not
day
happy
ult.
to call it a day. Going in for the Persephone, fighting it out, takes another tower
Nice.
shot. That's a kill for Gabba, but Pest News
Dropped down
cleans it
by
up.
Pest.
Good play on the Gabba, I think, sticking it out, getting that kill. Unfortunate for Gabba that Pest picked it up, but that's a 2-for-1. Yeah, 2-for-1 for 0 to 100, putting them on the board. Oh, Sobek in trouble again. Assassin
Show
Mario
is
doesn't
pop.
know his limits. Good shell. Good shell saves lives, and they're just gonna move on to farming.
The good old farming game.
You know, it's important, and I got to point out that Persephone is wearing the farming skin, so
Yes.
you know it's appropriate. One of my favorites, I gotta be honest. So I could be a Persephone main just for the skins alone. In fact, just to let you know the kind of guy I am probably almost certainly a Medusa main because of the Little Mermaid skin. Oh, big ult coming out from Susano. He goes in. AMC able to get out. He's a speedy boy.
Or not Aegis. What was that?
I don't know. I didn't see if he
Was that-
popped the relic. Oh, no, he's got beads.
Oh,
So
beads.
he must have used the beads there to not get knocked up, and then just managed to get away, be speedy, to not take any follow-up damage.
You know, back to the Persephone skins. I had her Oblivion skin is possibly one of my favorites, and I spent and a Wheelix
Hercules crest.
kill. Oath going in on the Herc.
Yeah, I think he was sticking around maybe a little too long with a little help.
Too long. Yep. But yeah, I spent a little too many gems on a couple different chests. I'm not gonna say exactly how much, but I wanted that skin, and I ended up getting like 4 Persephone skins. Not upset. Shuffle through 'em.
It's a good thing I don't know arithmetic, or I would be very upset if I knew how much money I spend on gems for this game.
Honestly, it's a shame sometimes.
X-Ball being bold, sticking around with half health, trying to trade the Rama, but maybe deciding it's a good idea to back off. Meanwhile, Wheelix coming in. Did he sniff it out, or did he just have an uneasy feeling?
Possible he figured, you know what, I'm half health, I should probably back it up to my tower line. And it's good here in this instance. We got Wheelix chilling off to the side, possibly looking for that gank if he pops up any further.
He gave up. What happened is he crossed over a ward. I see it now, but he was sitting outside the ward, so good patience on the X-Ball not to just like walk out there and say, oh, I guess he's gone. Meanwhile, Susano trying to harass you, Wheelix. Yeah.
Little poke.
Little poke, and maybe trying to steal that Oracle. And I think Oracle's pretty important around this getting close to 10-minute mark. You like to get the free vision. Oh, Susano went in. The X-Ball ult to try and blind the Rama. The Susano ult is good, but Rama got up into the air. He's dropping it down. Is he going to be able to outplay this? Oh no, Susano picks him up. That's one, I'm sorry, X-Ball picks him up. That's one for Chiron, giving him the 1-0 and 2 stat line. A lot of kill participation right now.
Yeah, sometimes when you're low health like that, you really gotta decide, do I stick around, do I try to get that pick off, or do I play it safe? And there's an Wheelix ult.
Oh, the Khepri ult is good, but does he get out?
Lots going on by Gold
down on the ground. Yep. Oh, Khepri does get cleaned up by Pest News. Sobek still fighting it out. The shell saves his life. Does he stick around a little bit longer?
Looks like they're going back to farming. Be safe.
These two teams have shown that they don't mind scrapping. They don't mind little fights over kind of nothing, just to see who wins. So I think they're doing damage checks. They're trying to find out who's going to be coming out the top on these team fights. Meanwhile, checking out the lead, even though the Secret Seekers got first blood, it looks like the Hundreds have picked up at a little bit of a gold lead. Well, not anymore. So something changed in that sentence that I was just saying. But the point is, it's bang on, right? They're about even. Meanwhile, the hundreds have taken an XP lead, and there's something to be said for that, even if gold is even.
Got that
And
hurt.
Hercules
Half health.
sticking around, half health. Awilix coming in, taking her time. Gets the knock up. No ultimate. But the
By Baron.
ultimate use.
Fire. All burned.
Oh, and there's the damage. Just a nice, clean, simple play by Squid and Oath. Meanwhile, the counter rotation from Susano. Health bar low on Awilix, but I don't know if I'd want to go into full health Baron Samdi just to roll the dice on that. It looks like he decided the same. Yeah, these teams are pretty regularly ganking. This is reasonably high kill count at 8 kills at 10 minutes between the two teams. Not a clear winner yet, though. We got a little bit of a lead in the solo lane. Got a little bit of lead in mid. Oh, speaking of mid, big fight coming out. AMC trying to get out of that. Sobek zoning with his ult. He's 3 against the world. Awilix jumps in to get the fight. Looks like Susano's able to dash out using his dashy boys. Oh, but the Awilix ult is good on the Persephone. Persephone gets to jump away.
Rotation from Hercules.
What a big
Nice
rotation. Yeah, knocks him up. Looking for the damage. Looks like X-Ball has joined the fight. He hits those autos. First kill goes to Chiron in this skirmish here. Awilix half health, running around in the jungle. Persephone also half health, looking to play defensively. Kepri gets a good grab. The Herc dash is
right
good,
over the wall.
but Awilix is able to get out of it with a really good dash. Awilix is a squirrely player, or character. Oh, and goes in and gets the kill on Persephone. That was bold. I would have gotten out of that. I do not have the stomach to fight low health. And there goes 4 of 0 to 100 sitting in mid lane, staring down this trebuchet. It looks like the AMC was able to back and come back with full health. So now he's just doing damage to this mid tower. Oh, is that a Gold Fury call? This is bold off a single kill because Gabba is already back in the fountain, coming out of phase. So they are
can burn
half
it
health.
quick enough.
Look at the damage. Kepri's there. Does the oh wow, he had stole that the Rising Dawn. Hundreds get the first Gold Fury. And that is starting to swing things into their favor. 1,200 gold lead at this time. Well, it looks like back to farming, so we'll see when the next fight breaks out. Perhaps there will be wards over at the Fire Giant area. We're 12 minutes in. It's a good time to start warding Fire Giant Pit just for the Pyro Vision.
Agreed. And while we wait for them to, continue their farming, let's look at some of these builds. I have noticed now. I don't normally play solo lane. The solo warriors that I do play, I have my set builds for. What do you think of the Golden Blade into Glad Shield?
So I think Golden Blade is so weird on Herc. His auto slap, and it seems to be helping with the clear. I think Glad Shield is a super strong item. And I think that maybe the Herc wouldn't have 2 deaths if he hadn't a rushed Golden Blade. But, maybe I'm wrong. Oh, Susano ult used in middle lane. Awilix knocked up, but getting away with a quarter of health. I wouldn't be surprised if Oath went back in. That's been his MO so far. 4 in mid.
Going off pretty far back to that green buff and backing.
Yeah, being very safe.
Susano kind of trying to sniff it out here.
Sobek ult used.
Down.
Yeah, I presumably just to zone to keep him from going into that jungle. Baron rotating over after pushing his wave, so that tower's all but dead in right lane. Meanwhile, Baron gets plucked. Hercules uses the ult for damage. Sobek peel is good. I don't know who first death is going to be. The Kepri
nice
res is.
ult.
Oh, but it's right into the Baron ult. Does he survive? Baron dies first.
Right into the Awilix arms.
Right into the Awilix arms. Oh, and now Hercules is in no man's land, getting Sobek plucked, knocked up, and then AMC manages to finish it off. That is a lot of damage. And for that matter, CC, poor Hercules barely got to push buttons for about a minute there. Not doing much to the gold lead, another 200, but the XP lead is just growing. And so now the question is, what do the 0 to 100 team do when it comes to the stuff after the stuff? They've got 2 down, they only lost 1, they've got an advantage. Do they go for an objective to pick a fight? It looks like they're making their way to Pyro. And the Secret Seekers, it is a secret to them. They need to seek it out because they do not have reward vision on this objective.
Indeed.
They know now, and that just pushes them to a 2K lead more than. That's when it starts to become kind of big. At 15 minutes, 2K lead, you start to feel that. Oh, blink from the Uelix. Thuku's just a little off the mark. It was a reasonable effort, but Gava gets to stay safe. She didn't flinch. She's going to go back and get some mana and come right back. I think the Seekers are playing this good, but 0 to 100 is starting to take off with this. Like, they're at very least building up some momentum. And so I think at this point, Secret Seekers need to figure out how to dial that momentum back. Otherwise, 0 to 100 could start to do some damage. Oh, that's one thing. Expo hitting some major ults. Oh, but Rom picking up some ults as well. Expo's practically out of mana.
I was going to say, unfortunately, with the lack of mana,
yeah,
you're in a tight spot there. You gotta play it safe. You don't wanna die. You don't wanna give Rom that kill.
You know, he's getting dangerously close to Rama ult territory, and that feels bad when you know you're just like 1 or 2 shots from getting killed. You just gotta run around in circles, lazy figure eights. It's tough when Rama's up in the air and you've got no health.
You gotta have your juke shoes on. You gotta learn to weave and bob. But even then, if that's a good Rom player.
Oh, there it is. ZRG Anime picks up Pest News, giving another kill for the Secret Seekers, keeping them in this game, letting that, keeping that lead from stretching out anymore at this point.
I will say it seems as if the hundreds are definitely positioning better. Opposed to the Seekers, unfortunately, especially, pre-Pyro. And, as we start to look at this Gold Fury that's coming up, how are they going to hold their positioning now? I'm curious, especially with all these wards that are laying around. It's going to be interesting to see that positioning. You look up at Herc over here. You kind of got, obviously your backliners.
Yeah, Herc is
those wards down.
I feel like you make a really good point. It looks to me like the Secret Seekers are trying to establish presence. Now, the vision at the moment goes to 0 to 100. They have those oracles, and you don't want to start Gold Fury when they have oracle vision unless you're intentionally trying to pick a fight. You're saying, hey, I want you to come here, and if you do, I will hit you. Having said that, 0 to 100 starts the Gold Fury. That's a bold play considering where the Secret Seekers just were.
It's definitely a fight to see that pressure,
Gold Fury is strong.
Dash.
Oh, Sobek Pluck is good. Throws Hercules into the mix. Doesn't look like he's taking any damage. And first kill goes to ZRG Anime. He takes out Sobek as if he wasn't a tank at all. Oh, second kill goes to Gaba.
Yes.
That was a good Persephone ult. Take note, if you hit those things, it does things. Well, AMC is in a tough spot, but he's starting to reposition. Lot of numbers advantage from the Secret Seekers. They have caught... I can't actually tell who that was there for a second. Was that Oath? They've started the Gold Fury, and so now the question is there going to be a contest? Yep. Rama is in the air. Ultimate is aimed. Is the timing going to be good? The third one, he didn't even go for it. Oh.
Right into
0 to 100 got it. 0 to 100 got the Gold Fury. That was a steal. The Secret Seekers had that easy, but then the Baron ult pulled the Hercules and I guess managed to last hit the Gold Fury. I know it wasn't that Rama ult. That third shot didn't even look like he was trying.
I will say, there is something in my soul. It fuels my soul when you steal an objective. There's just something so tasteful about it.
Yes, it's like free food. It's better than if you pay for it. It just... Absolutely. Yeah, getting that last hit. So it looks like, man, so I think what that did is that kept 0 to 100's lead kind of intact. Yeah, they're sitting at 2K, they're sitting at 4K XP. They're not stretching out the lead, but you can see that Secret Seekers nearly brought it back to even. But that Gold Fury secure kept the lead that 0 to 100 had. So now it's about Secret Seekers figuring out good defense, good map presence,
Do you
maybe
have
staying on
Pyro
top of
coming
this.
up?
Yeah. You know, it kind of pains me to see an objective spawning and nobody like at it as it's spawning. I feel like major objectives should get the respect that they deserve because they can really swing fights. They can really swing games in general just with the gold and XP that they provide. Oh, and another thing, Susano walked right past that chalice. I guess he thought it was time to go. So Rama ult in the air. Susano ult, timing it. Oh, he timed it too early.
Yep.
Nice job from Zexagon to save it. Oh, will he turn it? Khepri ult on the Susano, so he won't get the chance to get the kill. Wow, Zexy played that as good as he could have, but he is dead to the 3. And now it looks like that tier 1 tower is on the menu.
We do see mid laners rotating over to that left lane.
Mm-hmm. This is a big rotation. It's going to be 3v3 right now. No? 3v2?
Ooh.
Somebody already backed. Yes, Susano already backed. Since he was pretty low after the Khepri res, I can understand. Looks like
that invade into a fight for sure. Awilix doesn't care. She's definitely going for that secure on that buff.
It looks like AMC decided to go for his mid wave. He just didn't come with the fight, and so yeah, purple buff.
I will say, looking at it, there are some significant level differences for sure, and that goes back to that gold difference. You know, we've got Herc sitting at 15 against a Baron at 18. Persephone, very unfortunately, at 16, while AMC just hit 19. You know, these make a huge difference, especially with that gold and those items, as we get into a huge fight in mid lane and a Herc ult, Persephone ult, rooting them.
Yeah, Sobek managing to get out just barely. Oh, meanwhile, the Persephone super low. The jump is good. The shell saved her life almost certainly, along with a well-timed Aegis. Persephone is able to get out, but now the fight rages on in middle. Maybe rages is an extreme way to put it. The wave clear rages on in middle. Oh no, they're gonna pull on the AMC. Ultimate used by the AMC, but it's just off the mark. It looks like they're just kind of jockeying for position, trading blows, but not outright fighting. Hercules is joining the fight. Driving strike just off the mark. And
earned his blink on that one.
He did. It feels bad to blink Herc and not get value out of it. They did get their Scorpion though, and I think that is an unsung objective. I hear the other casters talking about it though, so I do feel that there is awareness being spread. Just a little PSA, don't forget about your local Scorpion.
Yes, those Scorpions are extremely important. You know, especially, you know, if there's 2 of you, you can burn it super quick as you're passing through, especially to Pyro if you're planning to pick that up. Or, you know, if you're sitting there waiting to try to fight the positioning on either Pyro or Fire. So we got a counter war. Wheelix hanging around the corner.
Darts just to say, hey, don't go here. This is my area.
Oh, X-Ball snipped it out real quick.
He did. He's positioning well. He might not know he's on a ward. Looks like the fight's starting to press in on mid. I don't know if they're going to go for... Oh, the Sobek pluck on the Khepri into the Baron ult. Sustained right into what appeared to be... Let me double check. Yeah, that was AMC ult. Gabba picks up a return kill on the Sobek. So it's a 1-for-1 right now. Meanwhile, Rama is rotating over. Looks like Oath is in a good position to do damage. Does pick up the kill on ZRG Anime, who returns the kill with something. Zexagon showed up and got the kill on Gabba. So that is a 3-for-2, 0-100's favor, but Hercules driving strike onto the AMC. The autos are good, the ground impound is good, and he gives up with a lot of health. I suppose to peel for the X-Ball. Oh no. that turned out not how they wanted it to. So that is 2 for 4 going in the Hundred's favor. Yeah, putting him at, well, not even quite a 3K lead. I don't understand how they're winning these fights so much and barely even stretching their lead out at all. It seems like they're playing this so well. But the Gold Fury is called. If they have the damage to do this quickly, that will change things.
With Kefri coming in, there's not much secure on that. Unfortunately, too late to the party. They grab that, and they're gonna back. They're gonna go farm up a little bit, probably reset. Zobek gonna grab some XP as a support should.
You know, once again, that's just the Kefri showing up to contest a Gold Fury. You kind of hate to see it. If Hercules had gone for that, he was pretty healthy. In fact, he hasn't backed. He just went to go push lane. He did get tower, but you know, it's hard to imagine that his ultimate couldn't have been the difference maker. It gets a bounce. You get 2 tries.
Yeah, and it just goes back. Unfortunately, I'm just not seeing a lot of great positioning, especially with these wards. The fight in mid lane, we got Pyro coming up, counter wards. But unfortunately, they noticed, and they're waiting.
Yeah, I do think Kepri's doing a good job of trying to keep the wards out. I just think he needs more from his team in general. He did clear that Fire Giant ward, but Pyro's been started. I don't know if they get this. Secret Seekers do get it. Kepri gets a pluck. Some damage onto the Rama. He's up in the air. Susano ult's already been used. 1, 2, 3. Oh, he didn't fire the third shot. Yeah, Kepri was right on top of that. ZRG Anime and this post-drama are making a really good team when it comes to taking someone and pulling them back to where they don't want to be. Oh, both getting the another step.
Or Susano, I'm sorry.
He's a slippery guy. Jungler's trading damage. It looks like Fire Giant's been started. 0 to 100 is low, but they're not that low. They are more than willing to contest. They're positioning in there. They have turned to the fight. They've effectively dropped the Fire Giant, but they haven't de-aggroed it. So this poor Kepri is getting beat up. A Wheelix ult, but the beads. Cactus Arms gets the first kill in that excursion. This altercation. Oh my gosh, so much happened all at once. Fatty Doink gets a kill. Fatty Doink gets killed. Who do we have? ZRG Enemy is also dead. And it looks like Baron is soon to follow. Hercules going under tower. Trying to bop people. Wow, that Baron must be tanky. He has no health, but he just now died after about 150,000 shots from this tower. I wasn't counting. Check my math.
Definitely had Baron. Definitely had his dance and juke shoes on. He was bebopping right around the tower. But you know, with Herc being tanky.
Yeah, he was more than willing to sit it out. Yeah, props to Squid for playing that out as long as he could have. I can't imagine staying alive as long as he did. Meanwhile, Cactus Arms was not going to give it up. He got that kill. Well, it looks like Fire Giant is still on the board, and so now the question is who's going to be there next? Because as far as who won that fight, you know, we're still at a 2K gold lead. So I guess I'm going to say Secret Seekers just by virtue of the fact that 0 to 100 is losing ground on their lead. And Secret Seekers are at the Fire Giant first, starting it up. Hercules trying to zone. Oh, but right into the knockup from the Fire Giant. We don't love that. Hercules, they don't need your damage on Fire Giant. They need you to keep them out of the fire pit.
And unfortunately, I think they wasted a little bit too much time trying to pick off that Fire Giant. The damage just wasn't there. It gave, you know, the hundreds a much quicker chance to get back over there. Now it's a fight for who's going to grab it.
Yeah.
And their positioning, they're definitely surrounding. You got the Flux, you got the knockups.
Oh, who did he grab? He grabbed AMC, low AMC. Fatty Doink gets first kill, but ZRG Enemy follows him up right away. We got a very low health Wheelix trying to jump out. It looks like she's out. The escape on Oath is insane. But it looked like Chiron was able to get a kill on Zexagon. And with that, that's an advantage for the Secret Seekers again. All right. So I think I'm ready to say Secret Seekers have clawed their way back to a decent position. still a little bit behind, but we're getting to the 30-minute mark. A 2K gold lead is kind of nothing, and being able to have position on the Fire Giant is worth more than that. 0-100 steals it! Oh my god! Hercules, that's it. That was another steal by Baron. Squid doing work for his team right now.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, he hid right behind that rock. I didn't quite see good zoning on that one. He snatched that right up.
They must have thought they had it clean and clear, because they made no efforts to even check their blind spots. The hubris on the Secret Seekers is a little relatable, but yeah, you got to watch out for steals if there's anything that I've learned. Cactus Arms picks up a kill. Secret Seekers playing these team fights really well. And who did they get? They got Fatty Doink, so that's the jungler without Fire Giant now. Only 2 members with Fire Giant because of the players that were alive at the time it was stolen. Squid and Mario. That's the 2 tanks. They can benefit from the healing of little else. Another question is this Primal Fury going to go the way of the hundreds? KMC tanking it right down to the last second.
I will say hundreds have been extremely great at, unfortunately, this is what's happened every time at Gold Fury.
Every time.
Let's get in there, and Khepri tries his hardest to secure that for his team, but alas, it doesn't work.
Yeah, shout out to Post Drama for map awareness. I'm absolutely seeing it. I don't know if he's not verbally calling it, but I'd love to see more of the Seekers being at Gold Fury when they're getting done. We already got 2 kills happening from this fight right there. Mario Sobek down, ZRG Anime dead for his efforts. Squid picking up a kill, but then followed right by Cactus Arms picking up a kill on Zexy. Squid getting a double kill, taking Gabba out of it. Oh my gosh. Chiron Arkin and Cactus Arms against the world. Unfortunately, the world is winning for them. Fatty Doink Oath picks up the kill. Hercules so tanky, but so very dead. That is a clean wipe for the hundreds' favor. Oh, that's got to put things in their favor right now.
Oh, absolutely. And unfortunately, I have to keep coming back to this. It's that positioning. They definitely split off, which unfortunately was in the hundreds' favor. Up towards, into the jungle higher, into the lane. And that gave them that pressure that they needed just for a Wheelix to come back in, especially with that ult nice and ready. And unfortunately, you can't have your back to a Wheelix. She's just going to pop you right up.
And it looks like the call has been to go for the Phoenix. Players coming up from the Seekers. Baron ult is good. He's getting a ton of damage. They actually take out Cactus Arms, and the fight is still going on.
Killing spree.
And we get another kill there. Squid picking up one more kill. He's got a killing spree. I feel like he is playing above his pay grade right now. They've decided to drop the Phoenix, so the Phoenix defense was good, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, it's definitely a matter of trying to sit back and protect the bird, but now you've got Rom securing that Pyromancer, which, if you don't know, everybody, is my favorite objective.
I like it as well. It's low health, so it's actually pretty easy to burn. It's nearly as much gold as the Gold Fury. There's a lot of advantages to having it. And if you're defending, you get to come out of base faster. If you're attacking, you get to come out of base faster. There's not a downside.
No, there's absolutely not. And it's, like you said, it burns quick. You grab it real quick and you get back to what you were doing, whether that's, getting into a fight, securing a kill for your team. There's so many different options.
I see you, cameraman. He's saying that they didn't get the Scorpion when they were just right there. I do agree that's a crime. Meanwhile, it looks like Farming just trying to figure out what they're going to do next. But I absolutely agree with you on the Pyro there. Good objective. And if you hear Gold Fury go off that you weren't expecting, just start Pyro. You probably have time enough to do it.
Absolutely. That is a huge thing. Don't if your enemy team is securing an objective, but you know that they're over there, you got to make that choice. Quickly grab that other objective so they don't have that choice. They don't have the ability to grab that. As we see now, they're getting ready for that Fire Giant. And will the team get there quick enough? They don't have Hercules.
Yeah, we got to talk about this. They've reached about an 8K lead at this point, and so this
Yes.
squarely puts 0 to 100 in the advantage. I said a 2K lead can be ignored around the 30-minute mark. An 8K lead really can't, because that's full items for all the players nearly. You're really getting to the point where you're an item ahead, and it makes a difference.
Definitely a push to see, especially with that pluck,
Yep.
fighting for that, we're here for this fire. You guys can't have it. Which
Yeah.
unfortunately is splitting up everybody. That zoning is perfect. That pluck, props to the pluck.
First ultimate used by the Hercules. It looks like it didn't get a lot of value. I don't know if it was to scare them off. X-Ball uses his ult, so it looks like the go-in has been called. The fighting is raging over at the fire pit. Damage is coming out. Abilities are being used. No deaths yet, but Hercules is taking a ton of damage. There's a Persephone
Nice
ult.
Persephone ult.
It was, I think, in a good position. Khepri ult used as well. First kill goes to ZRG Anime. Second kill goes to Oath. It's taking people out. One for each team, but health bars are super low on the Secret Seekers, and that is not the case for 0 to 100. They squarely won that just by DPS alone. Brahma is in the air looking for that next kill. Oh, Oath plays really well.
Right into Oath.
Yeah, ZRG
Trying to
Anime
dodge that Baron.
doing everything he could not to get picked, trying to get a last hit, and I think he played that as well as he could have. But Oath manages to have that quick reflexes and kills him as soon as he pops out of, as soon as that little Susano blink is over. X-Ball has healed up, or didn't take much damage and is back. Contesting the Fire Giant, they drop it because health bars are low.
I would have liked to have seen a follow-up from that Persephone ult. Especially considering that they were backing up, but
I think
sometimes
that was
it's better to be
such
safe
a good
than
Persephone
sorry.
ult.
It was.
Yeah, and I wasn't the action got a little fuzzy for a second there, so I wasn't entirely sure where all the damage was coming from. Secret Seekers were getting beat up pretty bad, but it seems like they could have been in better position to follow up on that ult, because a lot of people were rooted from 0 to 100. Man, they just want this Fire Giant so bad. So this is second Fire Giant, so I guess at least one had gone down prior, but since then we've just been fighting over this Fire Giant for I don't know, more than 6 minutes if I'm correct.
Yeah, they've definitely been trying to fight pretty hard for that
AMC
positioning
ult.
on that.
I don't think he's going to be able to pick it up. He doesn't, so AMC ult used and down for the next little while. That is an important ult in these fights because it's the tank shredder. It lowers protections, and it's part of how they're getting able to kill these Hercules. Oh, but the Awilix ult into the Baron ult on the Hercules, but the Khepri ult is so good. Post-Drama's game sense is amazing. Meanwhile, Rama's free casting over to the side, just trading autos with the X-Ball, who's giving as good as he's getting. Low health bars. Both Zexy and Mario trying to get out with just a whisker of health. Was that a double knockup from the Hercules?
It was indeed.
It's all for naught though. No joy on the burn. Low health bars on the side of the Seekers as well. I can't believe nobody died. Oh, I take it all back. Gabba with the game sense gets a kill on Squid, who's managed to die very little this game so far.
And there
Well.
it is. There it sits. Fire still open for the grabs.
Yep, big
Counter
guy
wards
still
all
standing. Counter wards. So we're starting to see that ward game pick up. You hate to see it starting at, the 35-minute mark, but we are seeing the ward game really pick up. So then the question is, 0 to 100 takes that Pyro, thinking that's a real safe objective for just the two of them. Yeah.
And there it is. Scorpion.
Yeah.
Nice and dropped.
Look at that. Putting him at an 11K lead, at least 10-5. These leads are substantial. Meanwhile, Khepri over at hey guys, you want to do Gold Fury? And Cactus Arm's like, nah, man, I want a 2v1.
We got that Sobek coming in.
Yeah, Gabba there, but I don't see X-Ball. Am I just missing him on the map? He must have, yeah, he was just standing under the Khepri on the minimap. They do pick up that Gold Fury. I think that's a good Gold Fury to get. even if it's primal, being able to do Fire Giant quickly has proven to be a really important stat. ZRG Anime taken out by Oath. Oath playing really well, but Gabba getting the kill on Zexagon. I think that's a higher value kill between the two of them. Meanwhile, the Frenzy is popped. Oh my god, X-Ball getting damaged, but the B is too fast. More damage. More pulls.
Nice, a Wheelix pull.
What a nice Wheelix pull. Taking Cactus Arms out. Oh, and Post-Drama has to use the ult on himself. Right into a knockup. He's immediately dead. That's 2 against 4. The Seekers better run.
Looks like they're officially saying, you know what, let's grab this Fire Giant. Some of us are a little bit low.
Yeah, if they don't get it, I will be slacked on. Right now, 0 to 100 has absolute map positioning. The zoning is happening. Oath gets a kill. Poor Gabba went up trying to get the steal. I think it was a good play. Chiron gets a kill, but that's a full DSI. 12 seconds until ZRG Anime comes up. No one left to defend this Fire Giant.
That was quite the fight for that Fire Giant. I think that was a
10
whole
solid
10
minutes. 10
Yeah.
solid minutes to determine who got that. And 0 to 100 manages to get that Fire Giant. Meanwhile, Oni minions have been pushing. I guess I said the wrong Gold Fury earlier when I was talking about things. It looks like they've done a bunch of tower damage, but not enough. Never mind. Well, they get a free tower. But anyway, this game's always trying to make a liar out of me. I don't know if you've noticed. So what we're looking at there is the 0 to 100 squarely winning this over a long protracted fight. You gotta love the heart from the Seekers. They're really putting in the work. Their team fight has been really good. Their initiations have been good. Their follow-up, not always great, but a lot of good kills in some of these situations. But when they keep going on, it looks like between the healing from Squid and just the CC chains that they're able to pull out, the pluck into the Baron ult, into the Wheelix pull, into the whatever, that 0 to 100's managed to turn this into their favor the longer these fights go. So
I've definitely noticed that, you know, especially that CC chain, unfortunately, really does not do the Seekers any good, and I'm sure we're gonna see that up here. You know, it's a fight for the bird.
It's a fight for the bird.
They're gonna want to end.
And at this point, I feel like the Seekers are do or die. They have to stand and deliver. If they can get a wipe here, they can push it down middle, maybe even win the game. If they start getting picked off, if Sobek gets a pluck into a kill, and now it's a 4v5, that's going to be a huge blow to the Seekers. Just stalling the fight, waiting for their second ADC to show up. This is one area where the draft for 0 to 100 really shines because they've got double ADCs. So Sobek goes into tank. Those ADCs can just shred that tower, especially having Fire Giant. It looks like the pluck was good on the Hercules, but then the push driving back. Oh, the Khepri ult saves the Hercules' life. But that's it's 3 ults used for the Seekers in this defense. Another Khepri pull. Oh, Sobek dashed in deeper. Sobek dies first. The Seekers are standing strong. The pluck is good. The driving strike doesn't quite hit, although you gotta tell me why. The fight, another knockup. Hercules cooldown is amazing. Double kill coming out of ZRG Anime. Oath got a kill, the first kill for his team. That's 3 dead for 0 to 100. Is this going to be a wipe? Is this that wipe I was talking about? Rama getting away, realizing the tide's all turned and everything's changed. Now the Seekers are pushing up left. If this is a hard and fast push, and my god, I think it should be. I think this should be a Phoenix for the Seekers.
We do have Mario coming back up in about 20 seconds. And Rom's going to be full health to defend this bird. It all depends on how they decide to push this.
Yeah, Rama can't die for this. That would be devastating for 0 to 100. They've got the damage, but it is going slow. Khepri tanking just as long as he can. He's going to have to trade out to Hercules, who should be able to tank for a while. They do get the Phoenix. That's a big win for the Seekers. Now, the question is, are the comms good? Do they all go to the same objective? Do they split up and get killed? It looks like the comms are medium. Most of them are going to the Gold Fury. Khepri just all about this Gold Fury. Rest of his team, super into squirrels.
You know, I think Khepri was kind of sick and tired of having one too many Gold Furies taken right from him, right in front of his eyes.
Right in front of his eyes. The ADC showing up with the 43rd minute for the first Gold Fury for the Seekers. I think that's true. Don't check the tape. Don't confirm that. But the point is they did get that one free and clear. I kind of hate that the carry backed there. That is one of those situations where if I were captain, not that I am, but if I were, I'd be like, why did you back? We need this objective. And Pyromancer goes immediately to 0 to 100. That is at objective calls that I'm talking about.
And we do have that Fire Giant coming right back up here soon. Gonna be, this Fire Giant can shift the whole change of the game.
It absolutely will. Whoever gets this next Fire Giant wins the game, 100%.
And a pluck.
Khepri ult is good, saves the life of Hercules again. Cactus Arms and Post Drama, you know, they're caps for a reason. Those guys are made of the same stuff. All right, so fire minions pouring in, both not even bothering to deal with them. The fight over the Fire Giant is the most important thing to both these teams. They're going to trust that Titan can handle a wave or two of fire minions because a bunch of towers are still up.
And you know, unfortunately, Susano backs. Susano's not in this fight.
Khepri ult is still down. First kill
Gab.
goes the way of 0 to 100. Poor Gabba, she tried her heart out. But the pluck is good. Cactus Arm's dead. Khepri just getting shredded. This is going terrible for the Seekers. Great for 0 to 100. Their Titan is taking fire minion damage, but they don't care. They're getting this enhanced fire at 46 minutes. What a rager of a game this has been so far. The Titan is so tanky. Damage is good. They're chewing through it. You know, we're over 100k. I'm not even going to talk about leads now. They don't matter. Nothing matters except for enhanced fire giant and how many towers are on the board. And right now, it's about to be 0 for the Seekers. Just 3 birds. Their Phoenix defense was good earlier. Will it be good with just Kyra and Arkan by himself? Nope. ZRG Anime is there. The Phoenix is dead in a hot second. 2 carries with enhanced fire giant. What are they going to do against it? Sobek Pluck is good on ZRG Anime. The Baron ult doesn't get any joy, but it does because the AMC is able to get the kill. ZRG Anime gets first kill to defense, double kill to defend, but the Titan health is so low, he's not able to do it. The first win of this match goes to 0 to 100, playing just lights out in a rager of a game. Well, I'm
That was
tired.
quite the game.
I
Quite
am
the
tired
game.
from watching all of that. There's so much back and forth.
That was
What?
quite the nutty game. Unfortunately, that Fire Giant costed them.
Yes. You know, I think the Seekers played it really well overall. You know, they started to lose advantage for a while, but they managed to stay in the game, obviously taking it out to 46 minutes. Hundreds had a lead just about the whole game starting at the 8-minute mark, I think. But the Seekers defended well. They played around a lot of things well. They just gave up too many objectives. And then when it came to that last Fire Giant fight, they just didn't have the coordination. 0 to 100, knew how to separate the team. They did it well with the combo that they'd been using all game and managed to just really put the Seekers on the back foot. And once they got that enhanced Fire Giant at 46 minutes, whatever objectives were on the map just went down in a hurry, including the Titan.
Absolutely. Can we get a look at the build?
Yeah, let's
Now,
talk about the builds.
I kind of want to point something out here that I noticed, but there were so many fights going on, it was kind of hard to keep up. If we just want to quickly look at the Herc, you know, fighting into a Baron, what are we missing?
Anti-heal.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I think that could have changed, you know, the game quite a bit. People don't understand that anti-heal does so much. I do see the Susano having beat stick. Perfect. I love beat stick. I will put it on pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
Obviously, not your mages, but
I
having
mean, if I could.
colors, absolutely, you have that 40% reduced healing for 6 seconds. That's actually nutty. And with Divine Ruin, perfect. But I think Hercules might have had a better chance that game against that Baron if he had put that anti-heal in.
I think maybe the thought was not to double stack, but I'm going to say I think that Pestilence nearly as good as Woolwork when it comes to survivability. And who was getting plucked 9 out of 10 times? It was Hercules. He was in that fight. He was near the enemies. If you're going to apply an aura, who's applying it the easiest? It's Hercules. I think that would have made a difference. Let's take a look at details. How much healing did Baron get away with in that match? And the answer is 6,500. That's a lot of health. And almost 4,000 from the Sobek. That's a lot of healing too, presumably just from Med. So yeah, same thing with the Khepri, who also had a Med. Now it's not including his res healing, that doesn't show up in the stat line, but he definitely saved a lot of lives. If you had to pick an MVP for each team, where would you see it landing?
I'm gonna have to give it to that Sobek. Mario really hit it with those plucks, especially into the Baron ult, which, if that Baron ult wasn't up, Oath was picking up that kill. I will say, the rotations from Chiron, perfect. He definitely did what he was supposed to. I unfortunately seen zoning, which I kind of wish he wouldn't have. Just in the sense of, you got to get that damage off. It could have made a huge difference. But Chiron did great with his rotations. Gabba with those Persephone ults, absolutely nutty. She hit
absolutely
some massive Persephone ults. So
yeah, look at the player damage. Just so much damage coming out of all of these teams. Now, obviously, a 46-minute game gets to be a lot of damage towards the end of the fights, but it just shows how back and forth this was. And I totally agree with you. I think Assassin Mario for 0 to 100, and I think Post Drama for the Secret Seekers. I think the supports really were putting in work for their team, and it really just came down to there was just a little bit better follow-up from 0 to 100. And I mean just a little bit, or it would have been a much shorter game.
And I will say those Khepri ults, quite a few of them worked out. Unfortunately, that ratio of worked out and didn't kind of equal. But, Drama definitely put in that work for those ults.
He did. If it had been on a 15-second cooldown, I think he would have saved everybody. But, my man can only do so much. So I guess we're going to go ahead and get right into game 2 and see how this goes. So the question we got to ask is, what do the Secret Seekers got to do to be able to turn this around?
Guess we're going to find out. I don't know. My whole thing was that positioning.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right that positioning, just objective awareness, if they can change that and not be behind in gold, I think that the fights go their way more often than it did in game 1. I think that was a big factor. So do the picks and bans change? Was it team comp? Because I feel like both team comps were good, but I don't know if I'd let them have Baron again. I don't know if I'd let them have Sobek again.
No,
yeah,
that's going to be definitely important coming into this second game here. You gotta kind of see how that last game was, and you gotta weigh your options. If you don't ban us, if you didn't ban Baron, but you banned Sobek, do you want to deal with that Baron? You gotta weigh that out. You gotta decide who you want to deal with more, or who knows, maybe they don't even want to play that god a second game.
Another Bakasura ban, I think, again, that is a good one. He's definitely one of priority junglers at the moment. And followed by the Baron ban. There is the respect right there. King Arthur also banned. I don't remember if he was in the first round of bans or not.
I think he was. Yeah.
Well, they don't want to see a King Arthur. King Arthur, definitely one of those tanky supports who does a lot of damage without having to build any damaging items other than Bluestone. You build a Bluestone, go full defense, press buttons, enjoy. Profit.
Profit.
Cleo, I think that we didn't really talk about the Cleo ban in the first round. She's also very strong. The AMC lock-in right away, that is a denial, right? Because we had pest news on the AMC in the last game. And meanwhile, Jingwei not banned. That
They
might have been a
let that Jing.
mistake.
Yep, they let that Jing Wei come right through. You know, I personally love Jing Wei.
Mhm.
A lot of my friends can't stand that god, but if you play her right, you can pick off a lot of people. And we've got that Geb. Geb is such an amazing support. Again, I don't really play support, but when I do, Geb is amazing, especially with those knockups. And if they
Mhm.
get a Wheelix, you're looking at a problem.
I do agree. The Awilix was a problem in the last game as well, especially on top of a Jingwei. I mean, I don't know who pulls people off a Jingwei knockup, but I'm just saying that's more knockups. Um, I agree with your assessment entirely. Jingwei is a great hunter, fun to play, safe, does a lot of damage, especially late game. Geb is a great support. I don't play a lot of support, but I like having a Geb support. You know, put that shield on me. Ooh, it's like a hug.
It is.
Is we got post drama on the Persephone. No. You got post drama selecting the Persephone for GABA again. I don't think anything
Correct.
wrong with that. I think that I think GABA's performance on the Persephone was good. I think if they ban the Awilix this next round, oh no, never mind, Mercury. That's got to be the jungler. So we've got the Mercury for jungle. That's good news for the Persephone. She probably gets pulled less. Come late game though, you know that last game was 45 minutes. Imagine Mercury with 5 crit items, a 3K pot and a 500 pot, probably stealing red buff and just running around pew pewing. I mean, 1600 crits would be frustrating to say the least.
Yeah, those crits on a Jingwei are absolutely nutty. You know, dependent on Mercury. You know, not everybody builds him the same. If you don't, I think that's kind of weird. But you know, to each their own. But both crit, you're looking at a quick wipe. But you know, into the Persephone, hit a good alt, and then you're looking at Vimana, also an amazing alt. And most people don't know this. You don't want to fight Vimana in his alt. So
Yeah,
it's definitely with those crit builds, definitely can shred Vimana as long as you do it quickly.
Yeah, I'll say this. If you're punching Vamana and he's in big baby form punching you back, not very many gods win that DPS fight.
Not at all.
He's healing back almost as much damage as you're doing. Meanwhile, he's hitting you with big AoE autos that he just can't miss. You know, credit to the Vamana. Also sustained CC immunity. So if the problem was the Herc kept getting plucked and then you know, Ares or Baron pulled, then Vamana won't have that problem. You know, whatever they do, he gets to go into his ult and start walking around and just go wherever he wants. Also, not affected by player walls. Not a factor in this, you know, lineup yet. But if there was a Odin or whatever, he could just walk through it. So Vamana gets to go where he wants. Kakulin, making me wonder, is that Vamana jungle? Because Kakulin jungle not super easy to play around because Kakulin it is. Kakulin has to build his rage, and solo lane is great for rage building. Xing Chen to round out that'll be post drama on the Xing Chen certainly because that's pretty good support. So I mean I like this draft that they're building up right now. So then
I
the
don't
question
know.
is,
I'm not really liking the Seekers draft if I'm being completely honest here.
you know, okay, so I'm scared of the AMC carry. I rarely see that work out well. And here's the thing. It doesn't work out in low lobbies. It doesn't work out in high lobbies. AMC slaps. He does great damage. He's just not safe. And, you know, in low lobbies, the AMCs don't know to position well enough not to get ganked. And in high level lobbies, the teams know not to let AMC get ahead, so they just 4-man gank him, and there's just nothing you can do regardless of the positioning.
Absolutely nothing. That's correct.
So it really comes down to, if he's not in mid lane, is AMC going to be able to survive? Because that's a long lane. And if you get frozen out by a Jingwei early, that feels bad.
Definitely does. And now that we're looking at this, we've got Achilles and we've got a Zeus. Zeus hurts. Zeus definitely hurts.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As much as I love Persephone, and I do think that Persephone is a win condition god, play around your damage dealers, find a way to keep your Persephones or your Ramas alive, the ones that can do, for that matter, Jingwei. Although Jingweis can keep themselves alive, but play around gods that can do so much damage in a team fight that it can change the team fight. Zeus is one of those gods. He doesn't have an escape option, much like the AMC that we were talking about. His one solution to every team fight is kill everyone so that he survives. And so when you got a god like that, it's feast or famine. But with Zeus, if it's piloted by a good player, it's oven feast because there's so much damage in his kit.
There definitely is. Zeus, unfortunately, is in my opinion a hard god to play. But God, when you know how to play Zeus, he's definitely annoying. I'm excited to kind of see how this, how Squid plays Achilles. I love Achilles. I think that's such a great warrior. I think it could work out for their team composition. I'm still not a fan of this Seekers composition they got going on. I'm worried about you've got Chiron on AMC. I think that's going to be great. We've got Gabba on the Persephone. So wonderful. But I'm wondering if there's going to be enough follow-up from the Cucullin into the Vamana. I don't know that that's going to work. Do you have any concerns?
Yeah, well, I agree. And, the other thing is ZRG did so good on the Susana. I don't know why change it. I don't remember seeing it banned. I don't know about Vamana Jungle being a viable option. Vamana can do big baby things. We were talking about it, but it requires a certain amount of tankiness to be able to let that healing do its thing. And I just don't know if jungle is where Vamana shines right now, especially in this meta with so many good junglers. We're gonna find out. But if I had concerns about their comp, that would be mostly where it's at. I don't think Xing Chen's in meta, but I still think I like him. If you can get a big whirlwind of rage and steel or whatever it's called, I think that can be a good team fight ult. Blink used right off the hop. They're trying to get that lane pressure.
I will say, I've dealt with a couple of Vamanas in my lifetime, and especially in the jungle, and God, do they hurt. They, especially with that knockup, just like that, right on this...
and Gabba gets first blood. Good job, Gabba. That was a predicted slow-moving plant, and that gets him that first blood gold. That's definitely what you want. Early pressure coming right out of the Vamana jungle. Sorry, I doubted. I've been told.
Yeah, I will say, Vamana in solo lane can be... It goes one of two ways, but I have never once in my life seen a bad Vamana jungle. They are just a menace. They're crazy. I don't know what it is. So maybe it will work out.
Maybe.
Anime seems to be pretty versatile in the picks here for jungle, so that's pretty exciting to see. We are starting to see quite a bit of pressure from both sides in duo lane, but got
coming over. Super low Squid, and the dive is good. ZRG picking up the second kill for the Secret Seekers. I think that this is going to be another high kill count game. I wonder if it's going to be another 45-minute game.
Jeez Louise, I hope not. I gotta get up at 6 a.m.
Yeah, don't they ever think about the casters when they're playing these games? We got things to do, people.
I don't think so. And I'm trying so hard to, shift this production into greatness. And you guys want to do me like this? Come on, guys.
10-minute games, every game. Whoever's in the lead wins. I kid. We like our competitive games, and
listen, and I will say, I have been so grateful for my friends, not only in the league, but before I joined the league, and they've taught me so much. especially in a competitive sense, you know, whenever I'm having a bad game, I just hear Jimmy's voice saying no game is unwinnable.
Shout outs to Jimmy and his
You can
unbeatable
definitely
mental.
turn a game around for sure. Seeing a lot of pressure here in duo lane.
There
Geb
is.
definitely trying to push that off.
I think a good back and forth between these two. It looks like they're going to go try and secure their purple. Let them have lane priority. So I think that is probably smart play at this point. So that is Assassin Mario on the Geb. They were doing pretty good to start off with. It looked like they had early wave clear. And it's a blink on the Geb, which is kind of interesting because instead of getting like a frenzy or a support relic like a shell or head, he went for the aggressive blink play. I don't know that you get to use that a whole lot, you know, in the first few levels.
You know, if you're aggressive enough in that duo lane, I guess it could work out for the better. I don't normally see many, supporters, whether it's warrior or guardian running that blink relic, but sometimes it can really shift the beginning laning phase.
Yeah, it really can. And, you know, I think that...
Not to cut you off, that was
You're absolutely right.
insane play.
Yeah, Gabba nailing those ults, ZRG getting the kill, cleaning up that last hit. Really good 1-2 combo between the two of them. Really like to see the coordination. Meanwhile, scraps are going on over here, but we got ZRG coming over to see if he can get a kill in the dual lane.
Looks like he's gonna go grab oracles, which is always a smart move. Whether you plan to grab that Gold Fury quickly or not, that proves a nice reward for an unknowing jungler who's not paying attention, and they happen to walk right through it. It's a free ward.
I agree with that. And you know, I think Wards wins games could just be the mantra for competitive
And you know,
Smite games.
we kind of got moved on to the second game fairly quickly, and that was a comment I wanted to make about the last game. You know, I think the Seekers could have benefited so much had they warded both low and high jungles, even if it was just one ward, you know, on each quadrant of the map. I think that definitely could have shifted a lot of ganks and positioning. So maybe we'll see a change in that in this game.
No, I think you're right. I hope that the message was received that the wards are what's going to make the difference. Placement on them, getting them in earlier, making sure that they know where the enemy team is. If a Gold Fury can't be contested by the whole team, get a Pyromancer, know where the enemy team is, don't get caught flat-footed.
Not seeing a whole lot of too much right now, so let's quickly look at our builds. We've got both solo laners going into Bluestone and to Glad Shield. Seems to be a common thing.
None of that Golden Blade nonsense for solo laners. We're just leaving that for the silly junglers, which I gotta imagine the mana with Golden Blade probably clears for you.
You know, I was gonna comment on it earlier, but you know, we got to talking. I'm kind of interested in that. I don't play Vamana. I played him a couple times. He's a cool god, but I'm kind of interested in that Golden Blade.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, I guess he's just thinking that he got to be able to keep up, which he goes into the ultimate.
And there's the giant baby into a Persephone ult. Gotta love it.
Oh, meanwhile, Xingqian throwing the Geb over. It's all you can do to try and kill a Geb, but still, that's all the ultimates used, but good kills coming out of the Secret Seekers, putting them at 4-0. You know, considering how the first game started, this is them taking that 2K lead at 7 minutes, a reversal from the previous game.
Absolutely, and we're looking at Vamana coming right down from high jungle on the left side, right into Jingwei. Is Jingwei gonna make it out? And she does. That combo is absolutely nutty, and you know, for a while, I didn't know that you could do that into her tornado. I had no idea. No idea that you could dash into it and it would shoot you off.
That is a really cool mechanic that Jingwei has. Just doing Jingwei things, getting out of certain doom with one of her many, many escapes.
Now, I do want to touch base on this.
Hmm.
Taking a look at the Zeus builds, Sands of Time, classic, gotta love it. Warlock staff, I
Yeah.
personally, right?
Hmm.
Now, I've been known to play some nutty mages in the solo lane, and that's kind of the only time I build Warlock staff because the stacking can take forever some games, especially if you're out pressured. What do you think of that item?
So I've been experimenting with Warlock staff on a lot of different mid mages recently, and I've been rather pleased with it. I've even gone as far as to go, and I'm not saying that you should do this, but I've tried out Warlock staff into Book of Thoth and just double stacking. I know that's been sacrilege since like season 4, but
Honestly.
but if you play Baba Yaga, you get used to it, and once you're desensitized to the taste, then it's not so bad. But here's the thing. Here's what I've noticed in my little
Your
experiments,
team
and
has
that's
fully
mid lane
powered the
gets stacks.
obelisk.
I
The
don't know what
enemy
it
has
is,
fully powered
but
their
it
obelisk.
seems like if you're a mid laner, you're getting to get last hits a lot easier than you were in the previous patch. And so I think that that's kind of why this Warlock
Ooh,
staff
a
has come
nice
up.
ult.
A very nice ult from the Xing Chen. The Persephone ult doesn't quite find the damage, but the Persephone manages to get it on her own. Squid getting a kill off the sides. Not a solo kill. Looks like it was a gank over there. ZRG getting a second kill for the Seekers. So 0 to 100 on the board, but Seekers gets 2 kills in that exchange.
Now looking at this too, back at the items, we've got Vamana and Persephone. Are they gonna quickly build that anti-heal, or are they just not gonna build it at all?
We're gonna find out real quick from this Persephone. She either builds into anti-heal right now, or I mean, I guess the other option is Spear the Magus, right? And I think that would be a weird pick on Persephone, but I don't know. It's a good item for just about any mage right now. So we're gonna find out very soon once she gets that 900 gold or so to be able to finish the tier 3 of the item that she started. If it were me, and I were against Achilles, Zeus, who's not really building into lifesteal, but definitely the Jingwei is. I don't know. I think anti-heal always good, but this team doesn't make a super strong condition for it, where 0 to 100 says you just gotta build anti-heal against us. But
Ooh, and I'm just now noticing a Soul Eater now on Achilles as there is a Zeus ult in mid lane.
I take it back. Achilles is going to be a Healy boy. He pops his stem that gives him a little healing when he lands abilities, increased power. Next thing you know, that Achilles is back up to full health after just a couple of rounds of abilities.
We do see some odd positioning over here in the high left jungle.
Hmm.
A nice ult on a Geb. I don't know that ult was worth it for a Geb because now that Geb ult,
Yeah.
you've got Merc coming from the sideline.
Ult's traded. AMC gets his ultimate on the Mercury, goes to pick it up, so he'll have it back up in just a few seconds. But does that get them Gold Fury? I like the call. I think that's bold. Is there any vision? Can't tell what ward that is. So I'm just going to assume, no, that is Red Team's ward. So it's just a, oh my
And
goodness!
the Merc ult to secure Gold Fury for the hundreds.
What a bold play.
Like I said, there's nothing that gets me going more than a nice objective steal.
Yeah.
Amazing play by Oath. Absolutely nutty. I have
Yeah.
no other words for it.
I'm super impressed with the timing on that. He had one chance, and he did not miss his opportunity to Mom Spaghetti. I forget the rest of the song, but the point is, he got that Gold Fury, and that was amazing. Because, knowing the damage, being able to sense the timing on that looked easy. It was not.
No, and it comes down to that with absolutely any objective that you're trying to steal. You gotta plan it right. There's been a couple games where I've just mistimed it. Sometimes a little bit too much, and sometimes, right at the end of it, right as they get that last kill, and Unfortunately, sometimes you don't always hit that mark, but Oath did a great job timing that ult.
He really did, and that keeps 0 to 100 in the game. Secret Seekers picking up the lead with all those extra kills that they have, but it's all but gone because of the Gold Fury. I think that the starting it was good. I think that the lack of zoning was a problem. You know, early you want to have as many damage dealers on the Gold Fury as you can get. I get that, but you gotta have vision. You gotta have awareness.
Jingwei
Oh,
not paying
Jingwei.
attention to the merc.
Has
Out
the
she
ult
goes.
to get out. The cripple should be over, so she can have her dash if she needs it. She doesn't. So now Vamana is chasing a Geb, which has to be the least useful thing he could be doing with his time.
You know, unfortunately, I see that a lot. You know, we're burning ults down onto... Oh, there's another Hinchin ult. And unfortunately, I do see a lot of ults, you know, onto the Guardians or the Warriors, and I just don't think that that's a viable play. Sometimes it might be better just to back off a little bit and time your ult for, you know, the squishies, for sure.
Yeah, not all players are the same. Squid getting a kill on Cactus Arms. Again, Squid playing good. You know, he's a newcomer to this team or to this league in general. Not a lot known about him, and he was lower on the pick list when it came to draft. I think that he's really proven himself to be worth on this team of heavy hitters.
It's definitely showing with a lot of these objectives I've noticed. You know, Pyro goes to the hundreds. Absolute amazing positioning on that, I think. And
Yes.
unfortunately, the Seekers were a little late on that. But into the discussion of players, you know, I too am extremely new to this league, and I've been so grateful to be in the positions that I have been. Thankful myself to be picked up this season. So I'm still learning, you know, these players and how they play and, you know, their god pools. Some of these kids are really impressing me. You know, and
Yeah.
I have to give it to Squid. Amazing gameplay last time. I have, you know, high faith in him this game. You know, we're also looking at anime here.
Yeah,
Really
Zero G
popping
Anime
off.
playing really well. I know Oath to be a very good jungler, and he is keeping up. Just barely behind, but Oath has been getting quite a bit of farm. He's already got Rage built on a Mercury, so he is farming fast. And so we're seeing, especially 4-0 and 2, 100% kill participation 15 minutes into the game. We're seeing good play out of CRG. And counting previous game, the man is a rock star.
I do want to point out that Zeus is doing double stacking here. And Persephone
Oh.
did end up picking up that Divine Rune to a Soul Gem, which I love Soul Gem.
Oh, yes.
I will
Preach.
yes, you took the words right out of my mouth. Soul Gem is just absolutely amazing. And I'm seeing the life steal from AMC now.
Oh,
as
the
we
AMC
get in-
ult. Sorry, Achilles ult. Just barely off the mark, but it looks like the damage might be good. No, it's not.
Oh, a little
He's
cheated out of
deep
that
now.
one, and we got Geb coming in hot.
Yep, good shield to save his boy, and now the fight's all changed. It's 3v3, but the health bar's really low on that Kukulkan.
It's always good to back off, you know, and you gotta play those safe, you know, especially early in the game. It's gonna make or break, you know, that lead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in fact, it's worth mentioning the only deaths that have happened on the Seekers have been from Kukulkan, but 0 to 100 with their 2 objectives so far have straight up made that gold lead just about nothing. Sitting at 500, that is the first blood difference. So they are farming they're completely farming out the kill lead that Seekers have. Oh, MC getting knocked up. Getting battered around
Jingwei
by
does
Jingwei.
She's starting to do that damage, you know, as we see that she's got Gauntlet into Wind Demon and then into Silver. You know, that power spike is going to be massive for Jingwei.
Yeah, absolutely. The sooner you get Jingwei online, the sooner your team wins, because her late game damage is really exceptional.
See a fight for this Gold Fury. Not one team is kind of pressuring it a little too hard. We definitely see that the wards are placed, they are there, but we're lacking the ADC from the Seekers.
Yep, he's coming out of base. He's on his way. He's a coming.
He's
But,
an AMC. He's quick. He's just got to get his hives down.
I can tell that Zexy is not on Instacast. Go ahead and put your hives on Instacast, folks. Even if you don't play on Instacast for anything else, you don't need to aim them. Just put them down.
Put him down. And the Seekers grab that Gold Fury just for Oath to pick one off.
That is absolutely what happened. He gets post-drama, so the support, if you got to trade a support for Gold Fury, that's a net win. Meanwhile, it looks like they're trying to catch Gabba slipping, but she's got the jumps, she's got the moves. Oh, I take it all back. Geb blinks in, ultimate on her. She's doing everything she can to stay out, but the Achilles managed to get the kill.
And they lose that tier 1 tower. It always amazes me how deeply, and I never think that I can do it as a warrior or a guardian, but it amazes me every time they just dive right into tower.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and manages to get out with half his health. You gotta watch out for those Geb blinks, and he got that first relic for a reason, and it paid off.
I'm just noticing that Chiron, the Amuzen-Cobb, is picking up Deathbringer first. I did once upon a time main ADC, and I never picked that Deathbringer first. I always went into that Wind Demon first. It kind of gave me that open window. I'm kind of curious to know why we went Deathbringer first right after Aussie for that lifesteal. I am enjoying the Witchblade. Great pick, great item. It's definitely going to make a difference in these fights.
Yeah, I think that counter building is one of the most important things that a solo laner can learn to do. If you are a paint by numbers build type of person, go ADC. You just get the one meta build for weekend, and you can do that for the rest of the thing until the meta changes. But you can't do that in solo lane. You gotta have an idea of what the team needs, what's gonna happen. It's like we were talking about with the anti-heal. Decent Persephone ult, looks like it's gonna be disruptive. Pesnus gets the first kill with the Zeus. That ultimate damage was huge.
Oh, we've got a Thorns popped by Cullen. Dropped right in there.
And he manages to get the kill while in Thorns. Meanwhile, Oath comes into the backline, gets a kill. Chiron returns the favor, taking Oath out of the fight. Oh, Achilles gets the good ult on Gabba. Wid making good use of this Achilles right now. That is 4 for 0 to 100. Zexagon picking up one more kill. AMC still in position to do damage. I don't know if he wants this, though. He's about to get the smoke, is for sure. He's doing as much as he can, but hitting autos is not one of the things. Oh, the blink from the Geb. The knock-up, the dash from Achilles, the Aegis. Now it's all changed. He's 3 against 1.
Oh, and that Geb shield saves him.
He's under tower,
Zex
but
brings down Chiron.
he does. Oh my goodness. Chiron stuck around too long. He saw those low health bars. He didn't see who had them. Pay attention to if they're tanks. It's a fool's errand to chase down low health tanks when they outnumber you. The CC.
Typically their damage dealers are right behind them, right around the corner, just baiting you out.
And that's exactly what happened. Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so we're seeing some warding for the Fire Giant. I don't think Fire Giant would be a bad call here. Definitely some counter wards. We've got some wards placed around. Definitely don't know who's gonna push that first.
Yeah, we're gonna see. I think that the ward coverage is really good from 0 to 100. Seekers have been better on positioning. We just gotta watch out the steals. Meanwhile, we've got ZRG in the baby form, managing to get out. Oh, the ult from Post Drama manages to get a kill onto Pesnus. That is a big pick for the Seekers.
every time I hear Achilles, I don't know the name of the ability. I don't play him often. Basically, anytime I hear an Achilles, I kind of have PTSD. Kinda hurts.
Yeah, he does, and it seems like he always has an
The
ability.
combat dodge, yes.
Yeah,
Thank
he's
you.
just cycling through that, and then the stun, and then another combat dodge, and then he says the thing where he gets the more hardy hitty things, and just
Yep.
by the time he's done one round, he's got another round.
And the Seeker's picking up the Primal Fury. It's definitely a shift in objectives about this time from last game. I'm, really proud of them for focusing these objectives. I haven't really noticed them, focusing on that pyro. We do see a Thorns pop, a
Oh, the
Geb
Geb
ult.
ult. Just knockups galore. Oh, but that gave him the transform, so he's getting out. Maybe.
Oh,
but
two and Oath ult.
yeah,
Mercury.
that
OP.
Mercury ult was perfectly timed, right in that corridor. The Oath play on this Mercury is doing a lot. Only 3 and 2, but again, a lot of kill participation and just such clutch ultimates. We're really seeing him make good use of the Mercury kit.
And while we kind of watch for them to set up for, pyro and fire here, I think it's important to note that these minions are pushing up really far into the Seeker's bird. Their Phoenix. If you let that go, that's a free Phoenix for them.
Yeah, they Fire Giant started. Surely this is all a bait. Surely this isn't serious. It's already down to 10%. They've committed the Zeus ult. 0 to 100. Got it. VRG was there, but he didn't have the damage to secure.
Unfortunately, Drama's ult did not time correctly with, Gabba's Persephone ult. Unfortunately, I think that could have been a really good play, just that mistiming.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Gosh, I would have liked to have seen that for the Seekers because I feel like they started off with the initiative. It's a good kill coming out of Cactus Arms off onto Oath, taking the jungle out. That's 2 for them that aren't going to have, 2 for the hundreds that aren't going to have Fire Giant.
They're pushing up pretty far here into this right lane. Some of them are a little low health. Don't know that this is the play.
Yeah, we really need to see coordination coming from the Seekers. At this point, they're fighting into Fire Giant, even though they have numbers, and so whatever objective they go for, they need to go together. I guess they're content to go ahead and go back to base, reset, spend the money, and hopefully not give any more. So Jingwei Zexagon still has Fire Giant, and if you just get one player to have Fire Giant, that's who you want to have it. If they can, in 6 seconds, once their team's all up and all 5 strong, go for a push. The Fire Giant on the Hunter could be big.
I do want to point out super quickly too, if we kind of take a look at these builds, the hundreds have some upgraded relics, I think, while the AMC is the only one with an upgraded, not relic, I'm sorry, a starter item.
Oh yeah.
People don't understand that these upgraded starter items give you a huge power spike. And when you don't, unfortunately sometimes I'm just too zoned in on the game that I immediately start building my last item. But I would rather have an upgraded starter first.
I agree, and I was going to say, if it comes down to finishing your expensive item or upgrading your starter, that 1,500 gold is better spent on your starter almost every time. Very few items come close to the value of that. Maybe finishing it. Oh yeah.
A lot of crit here.
Oh my goodness.
Kill on Mario, and another on Oath, but shut down by Zex.
It's a bloodbath, 2 for 2 right now. They're diving into the Phoenix, chasing. Oh, and he gets it. Squid on a rampage, getting the 3rd kill.
And this is what I'm talking about. Achilles is terrifying. You give him, if you give him a long enough leash, he will take it and run with it.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Achilles so low, getting chased down by the giant rage monster that is Cucullin. Does it turn
And look
around?
at him just juke around.
Oh, the stun is good. He's healing up because of that crazy build. Oh my gosh,
Ooh,
and
and
Achilles
they
has to
back
give up
off.
on it. I mean, Kokolin has to give up on it. Wow. You know, you you got to be impressed with how Squid played that.
My
I
God,
think
I'm
that
kind of scared of Squid now.
same.
Keep
I
that man
counted
away
him.
from me.
I did not realize how well he would perform in this solo lane. Um, the carry on my team brought him into the league, and so I got to play a couple of casual games with him. And Squid's a really nice dude. Yeah, it apparently was also a sleeper pick and a very good choice for 0 to 100 to put in their solo lane.
Don't we all wish to be that sleeper pick? Congrats to you, Squid. We do see
Congrats.
the Seekers here coming on to Gold Fury, but you know, the hundreds are right there. They did secure it, but at what cost? You know, there's
We're
that
about to
Zeus
find
ult.
out. Big Zeus ult, and it does take out ZRG in the middle of it. Oh my gosh, second kill for the hundreds, third kill for the hundreds, fourth kill for the
Killing
hundreds.
spree.
They're just wiping them out. Only Chiron is left. We've seen this before. The carry against the world. Oh my gosh,
You know,
even
there
with
was a lot
no
of
fire giant.
splitting off there, unfortunately. Their positioning was great in the beginning. I'll give them that. They were all together right there at that
They
Gold
got
Fury
the
trying
Gold
to
Fury.
secure it. But then they just got zoned. They got zoned and they got picked off one by one, unfortunately, all trying to turn around to save each other. And we're
You're
definitely
absolutely
seeing
right.
that difference in XP and gold here now.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Poor Zexagon. No, I'm sorry, poor Chiron. Just a be against the world. He's doing the best he can to defend, but there's no saving that Phoenix.
That's one bird down. Is that fire up? I can't tell.
I am almost sure fire's up. I don't remember it being done after the last time
There
it was.
it is.
Yeah.
Both pyro and fire. You know, hundreds are really good at, you know, noticing these objectives and their timers and planning their execution out. You know, unfortunately, the hundreds grabbed that for the Seekers. And
It
they're
is
grabbing that
definitely
pyro.
enhanced as well. The timing on that worked out really well for them. They get the pyro. That went from there was no lead in this game to this is the hundreds game. Having a Phoenix down, having enhanced fire giant, having a 6k, 7k gold lead, they just took the driver's seat and they are shifting the gears.
And you know, I think it's so important too, and unfortunately your whole team has to be on board with this, but you know, when you're going for that objective and you just had a massive team fight and you go to grab that objective, reset. Sometimes it's better to reset because if you don't and you don't notice the timers on your opponents, you're gonna get picked off all for nothing. You know, you grabbed that fire giant, but you couldn't take enough time when, you know, majority of you are low in health and mana. You could get picked off pretty easily there.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And that is something that they really need to watch out for. Oh, Oath goes in, gets a grab. We see a knockup from the Geb. We see an ultimate from the Geb.
There's
Zeus
that
ult
Zeus
coming out
ult.
as well. They gotta remember this is an enhanced fire giant. They need to really play around this, trading out aggro. Oath gets the first kill. ZRG gets a return kill. Oh,
Gabba
Gabba
with a
getting a kill as well. ZRG getting a second kill. This is starting to go the way of the Seekers. Oh, but Zeus is not to be outdone. That is 3 for 2, and Phoenix goes down. That's 2 Phoenixes down, 3 members of the Seekers alive. Squid and Pest News just doing so much work to get that job done.
And there's Achilles right in his face, ready to fight it off just to protect that Zeus.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Does the Zeus get out? The Zeus does, but the Achilles does not.
And Gabba with a shutdown on Squid. You gotta love it. I live for the shutdowns.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, credit to
Close
Gabba.
second to those objective steals. Gotta love them.
The big thing I'm seeing is her ultimates have been on point. They don't have the same like damage zoning value that a Zeus ult does, but when it comes to the kill secure or the setup, it's been very good. And I think she's been a lot of value to her team, which you can see actually in kill participation. 4 kills, 10 assists versus the 5 kills and 4 assists. You know, she's definitely been involved of more kills and a percentage of the team's 14 out of 18 versus 9 out of 19. I know that was a lot of numbers. Write it down on a notepad. You guys can follow along. Play it back until you get it. I'm just saying, Gab's doing great.
You know, and it's good that you point out those assists because I noticed, you know, many players tend to get really tilted, unfortunately, when they're like, you know, I'm not doing good, but they've got those assists. You know, unfortunately, it's not always about grabbing all those kills, but if you can help secure those kills, that's what matters. That can shift the whole game.
I think you're absolutely right. Recognize your role. If your role is to do damage, it doesn't have to be get last hits. Get your abilities off, even if you gotta die, even if you're 0-5. Get those abilities off so you're doing damage
And
so
a
the rest of your
double
team can
kill
do their
for
job.
Pest. But yes,
And
you
that-
are absolutely correct.
That's what Pest is doing. He's getting those abilities off. He's getting the kills. Mid Phoenix came back, but for how long? Very short. That's how long. Both Phoenixes down. There's one left, but it doesn't look like 0 to 100 is worried about it. They're starting the Titan. 2 members dead for the Seekers. It's 3 against 5. It's
With a kill
2
on
against
Pyro.
5. Gosh. Oath is doing so much damage with the crit. Pest News is as well. It's going crazy. They're doing the damage, and there it is. The second win for 0 to 100. They are taking this set 2-0. Credit to 0 to 100. Assassin Mario 21's team doing work.
I will have to say I'm a little upset with Gabba. That last ult could have really changed the course of how that last minute went down. She did miss that ult. We didn't see many missed ults from Gabba, but you know, sometimes it's better to hold on to that Persephone ult.
Yeah, I don't want to put it on her shoulders, but I gotta say the Seekers did a really good job of making the adjustments
Excellent. Yes.
to win the game. And then right there at the end, just fell down to those team fights. You know, I don't know if it was coordination. I don't know if it was just player diff because a lot of great players on 0 to 100. But, you know, I saw a lot of great plays from the Seekers' point of view as well. ZRG and Gabba really standing out to me in that regard, as far as like mechanical, hitting the things, being where they needed to be. And for that matter, kill participation. You can see it in the stat lines. Lots of damage coming out of Chiron Archon on the AMC. I think he did good, but you know, it happened about like I said, you know, you got to play so safe position wise that it, you know, takes you out of the fight sometimes. And so when it comes down to it, 0 to 100 was able to just muscle their way through those team fights.
And I will say, definitely, you know, the Seekers, compared to their first game to the second one, they turned it up. You know, they definitely changed a lot in the beginning. You know, their early game was, you know, almost perfect. You know, aside from a couple, you know, me nitpicking on positioning, I'm real big on that. You know, they definitely turned the tables on that one, but
They did.
it just, you know, it just came down to, you know, Squid
Yeah,
really getting in there and setting up, and then you've got Oath
Yeah, you're right.
on Mercury just shooting right down with his ult, and unfortunately that just set up for the Zeus and the Jingwei.
Yeah, no, you really, I think, nailed it because the scenario was the Seekers coming out of the gate strong, getting all those early kills. The only person getting kills for 0 to 100 in the early game was Squid. And then once they got like a couple, well, the sneaky Gold Fury from Oath, that's what kind of like evened things up. And then it was just a back and forth, good play from the Seekers, but 0 to 100 not giving up, not letting it go, and then just finding their opportunity. And when they struck, they struck.
Absolutely, they did.
Well, I guess we can take one more second to take a look at these builds. You know, a lot of crit coming out in AMC, a lot of crit coming out from the Mercury as well. I'm seeing Deathbringer real popular, and I noticed that one particular Deathbringer upgrade seems to be the one to get. People want that slow. They don't necessarily seem to care for the cooldown that you get from the other Deathbringer, whose name I don't even remember.
To be honest, I don't either. Depending on the god I'm playing, sometimes I go for the other one. There we go.
Look at that 2-point of malicious Deathbringer. Thank you, SEAL team, with the cams. Excellent cams this game. I don't think I even once thought, what was this guy thinking? That's rare for me. I want you to know I'm throwing shade. But 2.5 attack speed on the Mercury, really just, what do you do about that? It had to be, what was his crit chance? We got that 95% crit chance and 2.5 attack speed. This build is broken. Ban it, Hi-Rez. Ban it.
Gotta get it out of here. That is bonkers. Actually bonkers.
Yeah, that definitely did a lot of work when it came to the late game. Oath getting in there, doing damage, and for that matter, hanging on to the Golden Blades. Sometimes, late game players will trade it out for another item, get more power online. But Golden Blade is a percentage of your basic attack damage, so crits also affect Golden Blade's damage. And so you're critting, I don't know, the Geb or whoever you're fighting. In this case, it would have been Xing Chen. But the point is, you're doing damage to anyone who's standing next to whoever you're hitting. And so that is strong. Erendite, definitely a large power spike item.
That's crazy that you mentioned, the Golden Blade. I didn't know that. That's very interesting. I'm loving that Merc build. Erendite, I don't normally build. I guess mainly because I'm not entirely sure who to build it on. I guess.
As far as I know, Nemesis. Like Nemesis is like the one. Because you use your ult and you chase down faster, and that just sounds like Nemesis to me. Other than that, I don't know. I think the value in this case is its cooldown and its power. But maybe Merc ults into extra damage, into Loki. Oh, it reveals. Thank you, Cam Guy Seal, for your quiet information.
We love Seal.
We do love Seal, and I more than most. Let me tell you, he's been my buddy for longer than you guys. But Seal holding it down, doing God's work, and just in a real friendly way. I gotta stop. I'll gush all night. So, I guess the only other thing I'm going to say, Golden Blade on Mercury, back in the day, Mercury's one, the big circle, it used to be treated as a basic attack, and so you could actually get Golden Blade procs on it, but you could get Golden Blade procs on every hit of it, because it's an AoE. So if you hit a minion wave and hit, let's say, 4 minions, each one of those minions created a Golden Blade proc, and so you would just get, 16 Golden Blade procs or something. I don't know how to do math, but the point is, it was broken. They fixed it. Now it doesn't proc on the one, but it does proc on all basic attacks, and so it goes hard. Just we're seeing a lot of value out of it. Gotta love how 0 to 100 played this game. It could have gone the other way. They really got it together in the end.
Definitely. GG's to both teams. They both played their hearts out. We definitely seen, a lot of good plays from each side. Definitely proud of all of them.
Absolutely.
Really
well. Absolutely. And with that, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up the stream. This has been a great time. I think another great, excellent game coming out of the Challenger division. I'm more and more impressed every time I see these Challenger teams playing against each other. It's terrifying. It's terrifying to be in the Challenger division because they are playing so good. And so I don't want to see either of these teams in any of my matches. I just want to be friends.
Absolutely. Much love to everybody. And per Nova special, drink your water and get good sleep, guys.
Good advice always. I've been Nathan DePaulo, my co-host Nova, the biggest celebrity in the league, if you ask me.
Sure.
And with that, we're out.
Have a good night.